What's going on, guys? It's Kai, and on this channel we look at all things stocks. I upload 3 times a week on this channel, so if you are new, hit that subscribe button. Just letting you guys know I'm not a financial advisor, but everything I bring you is straight facts, so let's hop into the video. Today we're going to be looking at Sesn Bio. The ticker symbol is SESN, and I believe this stock is going to fly. Like, it's actually ridiculous. So let's hop into the reasons why. Firstly, what I like to do is when looking at a stock, I like to look at their about page and just their website as a whole. So this is the Sesen Bio. Let's go on about us. We're passionate in our commitment to save and improve the lives of patients. We are a late-stage company in development fusion protein medicines. Our fusion protein approach tethers a tumor-targeting antibody fragment to a protein cytotoxic payload to form a single protein molecule designed to selectively and broadly kill cancer cells while minimizing toxicity to healthy cells and to activate the body's innate immune response system. So it looks like their main focus is to work with the patients in the later stages of cancer treatments and tumors, trying to make the lives of people who have cancer, who are getting treated, like longer, and obviously making them be able to control their symptoms a little bit more. Take a look at the price, where they're kind of sat in the market at the moment. Sesen Bio is currently trading at $3.17. They have a market cap of $410 million. Their average volume is typically 6 million shares traded, but their volume at the moment has kind of gone up to 10 million shares at the moment. If we take a look at the monthly chart, kind of sat at in January, because when I started watching these guys, sat around $1.63, spikes of 184, had a really gradual growth actually, all the way to kind of sitting about $3.16 sort of area. And we look at the kind of max chart. When they first launched to the market, they were at 17, which was in February 2014. Kind of had a slow trend down, starting to climb back up. So what I also like to do is I like to look at who's holding the company. And obviously with this being on the NASDAQ market, you know, companies and big share institutions can hold this. So let's have a look at who's holding. TRV holding 4.8 million shares, Vanguard Group holding 4.7 million shares, Renaissance Technology holding 2 million shares, BlackRock Incorporated 1.9 million shares, and then we've got Kingdom Capital Management holding 1.7 million shares. And in terms of holding by insiders compared to institutions, we've got 0.06% held by insiders, and then we've got 17.89% held by institutions, and then 17.9% float held by institutions. Overall, this is looking really strong. You got some big names in there that are actually within the stock, people holding a lot of shares. In terms of the volume being traded, is super high. The market cap is looking really strong. To go into the evidence later on in the video, you're going to notice why this has a big potential and can return a big amount. Sesen Bio's main focus product is called Visinium, and this is all to do with bladder cancer. At the moment on the market, in terms of bladder cancer, there is not many treatments at all. Visinium is their initial focus on treating bladder cancer. Visinium is being evaluated into the phase 3 VISTA trials for the treatment of patients with non-muscular invasive bladder cancer who have been previously treated with BCG, which is the current standard of care for non-muscular invasive bladder cancer. While BCG is effective in many patients, challenges with tolerability have been observed, and many of the patients will experience recurrence of disease. If BCG is not effective or a patient can no longer receive BCG, the recommended option for treatment is radical cystectomy, the complete removal of the bladder. So what they're saying is their drug is a complete alternative to this. So I found a little article about Visinium which goes into a bit more detail. So this is a little bit about non-invasive bladder cancer. The bladder cancer is the 6th most commonly diagnosed cancer in the United States, and 80% of patients have non-muscular invasive bladder cancer in cancer cells in the lining of the bladder and have grown into lumen of the bladder but have not spread into muscle or other tissues. Initial treatment includes surgical restriction. However, there's a high rate of recurrence, and more than 60% of all patients diagnosed with NMIBC will receive BCG immunotherapy. BCG is an immunotherapy that is a weakened form of bacterium-related bacteria causing tuberculosis. BCG is instilled directly into the bladder through the urethra and exerts its anti-cancer effect by stimulating the body's immune system to kill cancer cells. Although BCG works in many patients, many will also eventually relapse. For those patients who relapse or don't respond to call, the standard alternatives of radical cystectomy, which is where they remove the bladder. BCG can cause a lot of people to relapse, therefore they can't use it anymore. It's actually ineffective to them. So then they have to go and basically remove the bladder, which is like the last thing they want, and it's super invasive and of course super dangerous. What Visinium are claiming they're going to do for the bladder cancer patients is actually going to maintain the symptoms, and it's something they can take for a long time. Sesen Bio have actually done a little article on on bladder cancer and shows how big the market is. If this drug is going to be true, how much are they going to impact? Bladder cancer is a highly prevalent cancer, but options for treatment have not been changed in more than 20 years. At Sesen Bio, we want to help you save your bladder. Visinium, which is a late clinical trial, is administered in the exact same way as BCG but works differently and may offer new options. It's the 6th most common cancer. 72 is the average age of diagnosis, and 90% of diagnosis at age 55 plus. And the options for treatment when BCG is not effective is the complete bladder removal, where this is giving them the other option. So the way they kind of go in here, this is a big market for them and a big opportunity. There's actually been an article that surged the stock price through the roof and is really making it grow. On Yahoo Finance, Sesn Bio announces FDA acceptance and priority review of its biological license application for Visinium. So not only are they submitted to FDA approval and are in the final stages, they're being made priority because it's how much of FDA wants to get the drug approved and out into the public and out into the use as quick as possible. Sesen Bio, a late-stage clinical company developing targeted fusion protein therapeutics for treatment of patients with cancer, announced today the US Food and Drug Administration, FDA, accepted for filing the company's biological license application of Visinium for the treatment of high-risk BCG unresponsive non-muscle invasive bladder cancer, and granted the application priority review. In addition, the FDA stated that it's not currently planning to hold an advisory committee meeting to discuss the BLA for Visinium. The FDA grants priority review for medicines that treat a serious condition and, if approved, would be significantly improved in the safety or effectiveness of the treatment, diagnosis, or prevention of such serious condition. Priority review designation shortens the review period goal from the standard 10 months to 6 months from filing acceptance to the BLA. With priority review, the anticipated target prescription Drug User Free Act date for decision of the BLA is August the 18th, 2021. This is great news, guys, all right? They're being made priority because they believe in their product. The estimated date is August, so any time you get in before August is a good time to get in hopes that they do become approval. What I will mention is this stock is a high risk. Every penny stock that we ever talk about is super high risk because the companies could fall, it could go under. What these companies typically do is they count on to the fact that they have one good product that is going to change the whole entire company and it's going to grow. They find an untapped market or a market that they think they can do better, and they invest their time, invest their money that's into this product in hopes that it grows. So here's a little bit about their financials, which I like to look at in the company to kind of see where they're sat at. So for the 9 months ended 30th September 2020, Sesen Bio Incorporated revenue increased from $0 to $11.2 million. Net loss applicable to common stockholders decreased 90% to $7.5 million. Revenue reflects an increase in demand for the company's products and services due to the favorable market conditions. Lower net loss reflects change in fair value decrease from $46.6 million expense to $16.8 million income. So in terms of their net income, it's negative $107.5 million, like I said, which we typically see, and that was in 2019. In their balance sheet, we have the total assets sat at $114.36 million, with a total liabilities of $141.06 million, with a debt to asset ratio of 123.35%. And here we have the Sesen Bio's first quarter 2020 financial reports that we'll take a look at. So this is comparing their March 31st, 2020 until the 2019 December 31st. And my key takeaway from this one is the fact that they have $42,000 worth of cash available, which is going to be key in terms of them launching their products. Let's get into my price prediction and where I'm kind of sat within the market. At the moment, I don't have a position within this stock, but this is something that I definitely want to add to my portfolio, as I think this has a lot of potential. And I think the price now, even though, yeah, it's quite high, I don't think it's outlandish, and I think you still will make some returns on it before the product launch. In terms of my short-term prediction, which obviously is going up to about August time, anything before August, I reckon we could see the stock hit about $4 in that sort of region. So I do believe you will make some returns if you get in now. But when it hits August, and in hindsight, if it does get approved and it all goes really well, we can see the stock hit $15 easily. A lot of analysts and people have actually said, I mean, Yahoo Finance are sitting in a year's estimate of $7. A lot of other analysts have come out and said 13, 14, all the way up $15. And I believe with a lot of the hype and the market that they're generating, the market they're tapping in, which is so niche and there's nothing available, nothing's changed for 20 years, this will go to $15. But there is a big but here. The fact is, if it doesn't get approved, this will crash and you will lose everything that you put in. Remember, guys, always make a high risk investments. If you want to keep your investments long, make sure it's a small percentage of your portfolio at all times. I'm looking at adding in at any time. I'll be looking at the market this week. I know the market's been down recently, so I'll definitely be looking at adding in at some point. This stock alone, even though the market's been down, hasn't seen any drastic changes whatsoever. It's still climbing, so that's really good news. It's in a really healthy position. Anyway, guys, if you did enjoy this video, don't forget to leave a comment down. Let me know if you guys got in this stock and how long you're holding for and what your price prediction is. If there is any new news, comment it down below. I'm always active on there, always responding. Thanks for watching the video. I'll see you on the next one. Peace.